After the end of WW2, an arms race began between the Soviet Union and the United States. It got to the point where they planned to deliver an atomic bomb to the moon and detonate it there. The United States acquired atomic weapons in 1945, and the USSR in 1949, and relations between the countries became more tense. Improving atomic bombs and the means of delivering them to enemy territory became a priority for both countries. Much attention was also paid to space exploration. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched the first-ever artificial satellite PS-1 with a radio station on board, which simply transmitted signals from space to Earth. In 1958, the USSR launched a program to explore the moon. Sergei Korolev and Mstislav Keldysh proposed flying around the moon and photographing its dark side, as well as colliding an artificial satellite with the moon. Khrushchev approved this program because he wanted to overtake the United States in the matter of space exploration. Atomic physicist Yakov Zeldovich believed that delivering a small satellite to the moon would not be enough. Other countries would simply not appreciate it. In order to prove to the world the possibility of delivering atomic bombs over long distances, he suggested to Khrushchev to deliver an atomic bomb to the moon and detonate it there. The flash and the dust that would rise would defy nightly be visible from Earth. Khrushchev liked this idea, and Korolev's OKB-1 began to create a design for a spacecraft to deliver an atomic bomb to the moon. It was planned to make it similar to a sea mine, so that if it fell on the moon with any side, it would explode. The project received the codename E3. At that time, the space industry was still raw, and there were very often unsuccessful rocket launches with explosions at the start or in flight, as well as with trajectory deviations. In the event of an unsuccessful rocket launch, the atomic bomb could fall on the territory of the Soviet Union, and in the worst case, on the territory of another country, including the USA or Canada. Such an incident could be regarded as a deliberate nuclear attack, and a nuclear war would be inevitable. As a result, on the initiative of the author himself, they decided to abandon the project. In parallel with the USSR, the USA developed a similar project under the codename A-119, the purpose of which was to carry out a nuclear explosion on the moon that would be visible from Earth. They planned to detonate a W-25 warhead with a capacity of less than 2 kilotons. For comparison, the charge detonated over Hiroshima had a capacity of up to 18 kilotons. The Americans abandoned this project for the same reasons as the USSR, but set themselves the goal of being the first to land on the moon. In September 1959, the Soviet automatic interplanetary station Luna 2 was the first in the world to reach the surface of the moon, where it remains to this day. In 1963, the treaty banning nuclear weapons tests in the atmosphere, outer space and underwater was signed, and in 1967, the Outer Space Treaty banned nuclear explosions on the moon. In 1969, American astronaut Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, drawing a bold line under the moon race. Subscribe to the channel. There will be much more interesting ahead.